Welcome to our award-winning show, Transformation. What if I were to tell you about the possibility of changing anxiety or stress and realize that the biggest reason that people go to the hospital is for those two issues? Or we could rapidly change phobias or fears, as well as stop smoking easily or weight issues. Well, our show has the opportunity to see all those possibilities as modern technology with healthcare meets modern hypnosis. Our show today offers an expert and experts in the local area that will give solutions for you. Welcome to Transformation. Now let's transform a nation. So let's transform a nation. And I have the pleasure of bringing back our guest, Irit Horn and Taylor Sherman. They're the owners of the Washington, D.C. Hypnosis Center, and they're certified hypnotists as well as master hypnotists and master hypnotherapist. And I took my first class and my biggest class with you. I'd say it was the foundation of where I am now, and I really appreciate all the possibilities, which it's really helped my business, and because I have other things besides hypnotherapy that I've applied to my life, because I was a business, well, a lot of the viewers don't realize I have a business in construction and a retail center with kitchens and baths, and I'm not here to promote that today. I'm here to say how it benefited my business. And the show today is about how hypnosis can help everyone in education. And it was the best class I ever took in my life. And I say that with a sincere foundation that it really changed my life in giving me the opportunity to help family, help friends, help employees achieve goals. And it's just a wonderful thing that I think people need to learn. And we have the stigma of what hypnosis is in the stage world, and there's a whole different world that's the viewer needs to understand that's possible. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about your facility.
We love to talk about our facility. So yeah, so in our facility, beside helping clients and to get over some challenges that they may have, it's also a school. And we teach in our school several trainings, one of which we professionally certify people to become professional hypnotists and do a good job. Know what they're doing, basically. This is not a 1-2 day training. This is not an online training. This is training that is done and was built by us, especially by Taylor. Anyone who takes this training will benefit. I can say that this is the best training in the East Coast. There's no other training in the East Coast better than this one, only because we have so much experience. Taylor had put so much stuff in building the curriculum, and you know how much stuff we put into the training. So it's 7 days of lots and lots and lots of material. What we teach in the training, a whole lot. Who is it good? For professionals, to begin with, from psychologists to social workers to teachers to business people, anyone who wants to learn how to use the other part of their mind. Most of us use our conscious mind, all right? We know how the thinking mind is working, but we don't really know how the feeling mind is working. Nobody taught us that, all right? We have a thought and then we go with the thought. But are all our thoughts real? All our thoughts are the real thing. And what we do basically is teaching a person, from a client to a student to my kids, to anyone I know,
right,
how to master their own mind rather than have their mind master them. All right, that's an empowering. I wish we had a program in every elementary school. If we could have taught kids how to master their own mind, their own limitations, their own limited beliefs, and empower themselves to be better, to be greater, to achieve things, to attract things into their lives, what a wonderful world we will have. No fears.
Absolutely.
Right?
With the negative world we live in and the negative thoughts, and we know that through various studies, I think MIT was the one I looked up recently, that 70 to 80% of our self-talk is negative.
Right.
And how do we change that? How do we make that possible? And I can tell you, through your training, it opened my eyes to a whole new world of validating our own selves, that
right,
we're good people and we have a lot of possibilities. And I've used it with family member, children's, lots of nieces, nephews,
right,
and
right,
many people that have benefited from it. And the beauty about hypnosis is it can be very easy. And we used to joke in class that I would hypnotize people in cars and
right, right,
all different ways. So it doesn't have to be this complex clinical environment, although it is probably the most beneficial.
of course.
But, and your facility offers that and offers a way to do it in an informal way also.
Right.
And I think that was what I achieved in the class, knowing that there's no exact way to hypnotize someone, but there's a lot of various ways. And you, in your classes, Taylor, I know you also do NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, and that's something that I've taken a couple classes on, and I know there's an easier way of working with that language, because it's kind of a language that talks to the brain, and maybe you can tell more about it, because
Right.
you're the expert.
Well,
He is the expert.
with NLP, basically what we say, it's the structure of human excellence, or the study of human excellence. How is it that really excellent people at any endeavor in life are able to do that?
That's
are
right.
able to do what it is that they're able to do.
Yep.
And that might include someone, for example, who's able to trade stocks really well,
Right.
or something like that.
Sell better, do sales better, connect with their clients on a better, level.
Or it may be as simple as, how does a person know how to order something off of a restaurant menu? Okay,
Yeah.
You know how, for example, like some people, they go to a restaurant and they're sitting there for really a long time. They're going, I'm not sure, and the server comes and they ask them, are you ready? And they just keep, I'm not really sure.
Indecisive, yeah.
Indecisiveness, right? But what would it be like instead if we could model or find out what is the structure, what is the study of how that person does that really, really well? And that's just in a very simplistic example, but for example, how does a person get over a fear? How does a person get over a phobia? What's the structure of forgiveness?
Right.
And what NLP is, and maybe I have this right or wrong, you can kind of correct me here,
Yeah.
but it's basically a language that taps into the subconscious, right, with key words. I know, like, imagine, a beautiful garden, or, that starts the process in many ways to tap into the subconscious. And that class that you have can be beneficial for, as you say, anyone. Soccer moms are the ones I know could be the most, could benefit from the most, right? Because their anxiety levels are very high, and their challenges in this world today are enormous on their own minds. We know
Sure.
stress has gone up, according to the recent survey, 30% in the last 20 years. And
Yeah.
Right,
so
and that's also the
working
source.
moms.
Stress is the source of most diseases in the body. You know, when you have an ailment in the body, stress, you always attribute it to stress. And hypnosis, you know, these days we still call it hypnosis, but we have to talk about hypnosis, what hypnosis is. Because most people out there hearing hypnosis, they go like, oh, you know, it's maybe, you know, it's not something that I can do, or something that I'm allowed to do, or someone is going to take over me, or, you know, and it has nothing to do with that. It's exactly as we compare it to meditation. All right. If you know how to meditate, if you're willing to learn how to meditate, you'll be a great candidate for self-hypnosis. We see the self-hypnosis and the meditation, it's a matter of definition. All right. If you know how to tap into the other part of your mind and stay there and have a focused attention, you're able to be hypnotized or stay in a state of meditation. All right. When you do that over and over and you learn the process, you will reduce your stress tremendously, all right? And the benefits are fantastic. So doctors will send us people who are stressful for whatever reasons, from smokers to cancer patients to people who have fears, reducing the stress. All right?
Yeah.
So what we're teaching people how to do in the classes are two things, really. One is teaching people how to naturally reduce their own stress levels through a set of techniques. And so, for example, you know, what are the ways that you can, in less than 5 minutes, reduce a stress that on a scale from 1 to 10 maybe is an 8 or a 9 or maybe even a 10, down to a 3, 2, 1, or even 0 in a space of 5 minutes. Now, what most people believe they have to do is they need to go and do something. They need to go and smoke a cigarette. They need to go and eat a cheesecake. They need to go and yell at their significant other or something.
They need to take a drink, you know. They need to, you know, take something to eat, you know, to reduce their stress.
But all of that is really just a short-term fix or you know, short-term thing. When we teach people how to do it, it's about taking, let's say in 5 minutes or less, how can you take the stress down to a 0, you know, 3, 2, 1 or 0, in a point where you are very relaxed, where you are very comfortable. And so that's number one. The second one is then going to be, how is it that you learn how to be a catalyst for change? How is it that you learn to be a transformer? Someone who really is out there working with people, and it, you know, it could be that they're doing this professionally, but it could be just like you were doing, Paul, and, you know, working with nieces, working with nephews, working with, you know, people around you in your environment, employees, people who just need that change, need that little bit of a shift. And, you know, I don't know exactly what your experience is, but my guess is you weren't spending 5-10 hours with these people.
Oh, no.
It was simple change work that happened rapidly, sometimes 15-20 minutes. And, you know, the thing about hypnosis, I realized the more you do, and I think I probably did the most in the class.
That's true.
You know, because
we still tell stories. We still tell stories about Paul.
Sometimes I'd have 50 or 60 over a weekend, and you probably just were like, that's impossible. But it got me the basic training that I needed, you know, to have those thousands of people now that have, you know, been hypnotized in such a positive, amazing way. You know, so. And what people need to realize is you have so many different classes that you offer. You know, it's a whole world of possibilities. And my encouragement for you, the viewer, is to look into the classes and see that opportunity. The great news is they're here in the DC area, and they have a facility. And the beauty is you never get hungry there. They have proper food. When I say that, they have healthy foods, fruits and nuts and drinks, and it's a wonderful way to do.
We work on the other part of the mind.
Hungry for information and knowledge.
Not hungry for food.
Because you have to feed the body and you have to feed the mind.
That's right.
So it's very important. So that's a good foundation to have as far as a ground rule to have any environment.
Absolutely.
So the training takes about, the hypnosis training takes about 7 days, almost everyone can become a student. They go through a process of, you know, qualifying them to be a student in our facility. This is the only facility in the area, in the East Coast or in the US that I know, that have 2 trainers, Taylor and myself. We also complement the training right after or before with an NLP training. So a person who takes hypnosis takes NLP right after this, or they take NLP, they take hypnosis right after this. Beside the fact, you have an amazing teacher. Right? I mean, I'm
absolutely.
a teacher too, but I do give Taylor most of the credit. He built an amazing, amazing program. And a person that comes in, the students themselves are fascinated by the learning. There is
Absolutely.
so much to learn. You think you know everything about your mind, and then you get to the class and you understand, oh my God, the more I learn, the more I know that I want to learn more. I know nothing, right?
Right.
And we give it to them. That we hardly teach from books, and people
Right.
know that. They can ask any question. We will have the answer for them. If we don't know the answer right there and then, we will check it and then get back to them. Our student can hypnotize on the first day. By the end of the first day, they can
That's
already
important.
hypnotize.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's the same thing with the NLP training, is that what happens is that person goes from not knowing much about the mind and not knowing much about, okay, how is it that, you mentioned language, right?
Right.
So it's how does language impact our experience? How can we use the word language? To
Right.
immediately moving into transformation.
Right.
Immediately moving into, okay, what's it like to begin to change and transform and truly move from, okay, that's the way I was, to, wow, here I am now. And so I like to talk a lot about a concept that I call future memories, right? It's about being able to go all the way out in the future so that you can look back at all the positive changes you've already made.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And, even thinking about it like that is something that, really can transform a person. So.
And can
That's a lot of
Washington,
fun.
D.C. use some transformation
Yes.
at all levels, right? Are we not in ground zero for the way everything is right now? With
Yep. And to tell you the
healthcare
truth, most of politicians these days, they use hypnosis.
Yeah.
This is how they influence the people.
and
right?
the media.
And the media. And the media. Right.
They
So-
tap into the media. They're just as guilty. In
Right.
many
So why
ways,
don't we teach, the people how, to talk as well, and how to understand when people are talking to them, what they're doing with language? Because when you use the proper language, especially in hypnosis and NLP, there are different words, are different codes to the mind. Every word that we're using in a combination of words opens something else in the mind, influence the mind in a different way. So for example, if we say a person will come to me and say I would like to lose weight, right? And we say, do you really want to lose weight, or you want to reduce your weight, or you want to slim down, or you want to become thinner? Oh yeah, that's what I want, but I want. So have you lost something before that you wanted to, get back? Anytime you lose something, you want to receive it back, right? You want to find it, right? So we change the words. How about slimming down? How about reducing your weight? How about becoming thinner? How about becoming slimmer, fitter, all right?
Yeah.
Rather than losing your weight, because nobody likes it
To
when
lose
they lose something,
right?
So we don't want to find it, and the mind will always want to find it.
Yeah. And, the really core thing, I think, for this region in particular, talking about how we can really influence it locally, is that, there's a lot of decision makers in this area. And there are a lot of people who really, as they make those decisions, they do it from the basis of who they are as people.
Right.
Okay? They do it from the basis of who they are inside. And so one of the biggest things, at least for me, is integrity.
Right.
Okay? What is it, how can we help a person to heal themselves inside? Okay, and by heal, I mean, emotionally be expressive, be calm and relaxed within themselves, opening up that day, and in doing that, being able to then influence other people.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I want to thank my guests for being on the show today.
That
I
was
really
short. I had
appreciate
time.
it. I know.
I had fun.
But I can't emphasize enough how beneficial hypnosis and really, if you go in there open-minded like I was, knowing nothing about hypnosis, that's the best way to learn hypnosis.
That's right.
And there's going to be a brief message from the Washington, D.C. Hypnosis Center that Taylor and Irit own, and I really appreciate you being here on the show and teaching me everything.
Well, thank you for
Thanks,
having
Paul.
us. It was fun.
Many people contact us because they want to lose weight and to become fit and healthy.
Others want to quit smoking.
Speaking in public scares a lot of us, but some have to do it and overcome the anxiety.
Losing loved ones or other traumatic events can create a fear of loss.
Being trapped in elevators or being confined in small spaces is a common problem for many people.
And we also frequently help people to overcome their fear of flying.
Other clients we see simply procrastinate. They aren't able to complete tasks on time and they push away deadlines.
We can help overcome many of these and other issues.
We're directing the most powerful part of you, your subconscious mind, to create the changes that you want. This has nothing to do with hypnosis that's done on stage. A stage hypnosis show is made to entertain an audience. Volunteers are brought to the stage and they do mostly funny things that they were instructed to do by the hypnotist.
That's not what we do in our office. We inspire the most powerful part of you, your subconscious mind, to approach your underlying issues, fears, traumas, blockages.
Because many of our long-standing habits or reactions are deeply rooted in past situations or events.
To locate and transform your feelings and perceptions toward them, to change the subconscious mind programming. That's what we do.
And it works. Our clients overcome their problems, which in many cases have held them back from being able to enjoy life fully.
When I first came to see Taylor, I had a real problem with claustrophobia, and especially going into elevators. And I found that I would get panicked and afraid, very scared going into elevators. It was pretty terrifying for me. After this session, I could go into an elevator, and instead of feeling this fear of anxiety, because of the hypnosis session, I then hear circus music, which is rather interesting, and I find it actually rather relaxing now and funny.
I lost my son 6 years ago, and I fell into the deep dark hole. It took Irit 5 weeks working with me to bring me out of depression, to eliminate my physical symptoms, and to show me the colors of life again. She also showed me how to bring myself out of these moments if they were to come. So that's what I'm doing since then, and I'm enjoying my life because there is sense now in my life, and I'm enjoying it fully and completely.
We are certified members of the National Guild of Hypnotists, along with several other national organizations. Contact us to find out how we can help you.
So let's transform a nation, and we have Angelina here today demonstrating a product that is very beneficial. It's now available to the public. It's been out there for several years, but it used to be through therapists only, but now you can get it in your home, available on Amazon. We also have it available on our website. It's a product that's very reasonable and in cost. It's under $160. It comes with a CD, a cover, everything, but the most important thing is what it does for the client or the patient. It helps reduce that anxiety or stress and has many other benefits with it. You have used it sometimes to help sleep or relax more, and it really addresses those issues. But what we've found, and they've tested it in school systems in California, and you can actually YouTube some of it with Proteus, and you can see entire classrooms using it, and they found that the studying with children, both in grade schools and junior high, went dramatically up from those the use of this Proteus. It has flashing lights with it, the gamma lights again, that help reduce that anxiety and helps defragment your brain, basically, is the easiest way to put it. And it gives you into a light hypnotic state. It also has sound waves. The neat thing with this one is you can actually pipe in your own music. It comes with a CD with music available, but you can pipe in music from your own iPhone or phone, and it rapidly in a 15-30-minute session. And this already is pre-programmed with 50 sessions, from relaxation to sleep to focus better. It already has 50 sessions programmed on it.